Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called Yesterday. It is a 2019 film. I saw it yesterday, and it's rated PG-13. It runs about 2 hours. It's directed by Danny Boyle. It stars Himesh Patel, Lily James, Kate McKinnon, Ed Sheeran, and James Corden. I don't know why it stars James Corden. He's in 2 minutes of the movie, but whatever. It has to have his name on the front of the list, I guess. Long paragraph for description. Hang in there with me. Yesterday, everyone knew the Beatles. Today, only Jack remembers their songs. He's about to become a very big deal. From Academy Award winning director Danny Boyle and Richard Curtis, the Oscar nominated screenwriter of Four Weddings and a Funeral, Love Actually, and Notting Hill, comes a rock and roll comedy about music, dreams, friendship, and the long and winding road that leads to the love of your life. Jack Malik is a struggling singer-songwriter in a tiny English seaside town whose dreams of fame are rapidly fading. Despite the fierce devotion and support of his childhood best friend Ellie, then, after a freak bus accident during a mysterious global blackout, Jack wakes up to discover that the Beatles have never existed, and he finds himself with a very complicated problem indeed. Performing songs by the greatest band in history to a world that has never heard them, and with a little help from his steel-hearted American agent, Deborah, Jack's fame explodes. But as his star rises, he risks losing Ellie, the one person who always believed in him. With the door between his old life and his new closing, Jack will need to get back to where he once belonged and prove that all you need is love. This is the movie Yesterday. Well, I took a day to do this review because I want to be able to make sure I say the right things here, okay? First off, is that I think this movie, I've only seen minimal content, but from what I've seen so far, I think this movie is receiving terrible criticism. There are some things that are a problem. I'll start with those. Jack himself is dealing with this huge issue, and it almost like weighs on him the whole time. It's this huge burden that he doesn't think he's good enough to play these songs. He feels like he's stealing something. There's this whole dilemma. That's fine. It's present. It's very present in the whole movie. It makes him look depressed and overcome. And we could have used a part of the movie, just a little bit, where he was really happy, he was really joyful. Even when he's playing the songs, he just looks like a wreck. And so I think we could have used, 10, 15 minutes, maybe two songs of the Beatles that he plays, other than USSR. That's probably the best scene where he looks happy playing the songs. But we could have used a lot more of that. I just think that more of the movie, we could have seen his overcoming joy for having this passion of the best music ever. And we don't really ever get that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is his music manager. I don't know why they had to have someone like her in this movie, because it's really a good, heartfelt story, original story with lots of, things that feel good. And then we get her and her sarcastic tone, her sarcastic way of talking to people, her jokes that don't fly, and all this stuff that she says is pretty irrelevant. At the end, she has the stupidest reaction to things. I just don't understand why she had to come into this movie at certain points and just kind of ruin it. So that's my second thing. If there's another thing, a third thing, I would say it's just we knew this was going to be a movie about the Beatles, right? So there's going to be lots of music. There's tons of hits, all this kind of stuff. we get to hear most of them, but it's not like Queen's movie. It's not like Elton John's movie. It's not like other movies that we've had lately that are really good that have like a 20-minute concert scene, because that's what we want. We want to go be transported back into the time when the Beatles music was really great. We want to be able to hear these songs like we have with other movies that have been a hit this last year. And you give us one song during a concert setting and then you go straight to the next scene. Everything was really, really rushed in this. And I didn't mind it while I was in the movie, but looking back on it, it's like, man, I really wish we could have just heard like four songs in that one concert hall that they shot a scene in, but we only got one. So, it's like a waste of a scene, I mean, like, you figure how much of a budget this movie had, because it made a big old production on this area, made a big old production in that area, but we only got one song in each setting. So I just would have appreciated, like a big concert at the end or in the middle or something where maybe Jack starts to get, famous and stuff, but we get them released online and we get this other stuff, and it's like, just do a concert. We want to hear these songs, So there's a one line in the middle that the music manager says, we're going to take your 5 best songs and release them worldwide. And I was like, okay, perfect timing to do a concert of those 5 songs. Do a medley, do something, And they just didn't do anything with it. So I just think it was really bad timing by the movie, really bad usefulness of, certain chances that they had to really amaze us with, a selection of songs, and then we get one or half of a song. So there are problems with this movie. I understand that. And I know people are probably going to be ripping it apart and saying that, the first original part of the hour of this movie was unique and everything, and then it just kind of falls flat. But I don't get that. I don't. I think it was exciting the whole time. I think there was nice, genuine, funny things with Jack's parents and friends, and bringing stuff from the beginning of the movie to the end. I think there's a lot of good stuff in this, and I enjoyed every single song that got played. I might not have known all of them, but it was really a nice work of the movie, and you get a part where you might be getting let down, and there's a part where there's a surprise here and a surprise there. And I just like the way they handled the movie. I mean, this reminds me a lot of music and lyrics. And, other movies that had music in them that are just nice and light and for the family. And you can bring your mother and you can bring your grandma and you can bring everybody else, that maybe just wants to see a nice movie. And you just sit there and you enjoy it. And that's exactly what I was hoping to go to and see and enjoy and listen to the music and listen to this movie. And I don't think anything was out of the ordinary, creepy, or wrong. And when I see a movie like this, it's what I want to see. It's what I enjoy. And I think everybody can enjoy. And so if you go in with the right mindset and an open heart and just listen to the songs of the Beatles and enjoy this unique story, maybe you don't want to see it again, but I for sure do. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was handled appropriately, and I laughed a lot. And I looked over at my family member I went to the movie with, and we were just, interested in everything, and we liked how it was handled. And there's a thing at the end that some people might think was handled wrong. I think it was handled appropriately. I get it. I understand it. And I wish they would have gone further with that. But then all of a sudden they changed their mind at the end. But it's really, really handled well. And I think this will go down as a movie that people will remember. And, maybe it doesn't handle it how you want, but how it wanted to do things, it was pulled off efficiently. So I'm going to give Yesterday an A. I will buy it. I will watch it many more times in my life. And I think everybody else should too. If you don't, if you see something more wrong with it that just keeps you from thinking that way, I'm sorry and I understand it. But I loved it, and I want to give Yesterday an A. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and get some of them to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks.